Welcome back, everyone. I am Psycho Emerald. Today I have another Hasbro Marvel Legends series action figure unboxing and review. Today I have Integrated Suit Spider-Man from Spider-Man No Way Home. I'm pretty excited for this figure. If you guys like this type of content, collectible action figure unboxings and reviews, then please consider sticking around to the end of the video, and if you enjoy it, maybe consider leaving a like and also subscribing in order to join the Knights of Mischief. So yeah, I'm really excited to get this figure. I picked it up at my local comic book shop yesterday. Actually, today I picked this one up. I picked up a different one yesterday, but it had a QC issue on one of the web shooter hands. There was a little paint mishap, so I went back today and traded it for this one because they had two others, so I thought, why not? And yeah, so I'm probably going to be picking up more figures from them soon because they had a very good selection, so I was pretty impressed with that. So I'm really happy to have this figure. I never thought I would actually end up getting it, but I didn't mind too much since I do have the upgraded suit. And if you want to check out that review, it'll be linked right up in the corner up there, as well as my review of the No Way Home Doctor Strange. So yeah, in my last two reviews of No Way Home Marvel Legends figures, I hadn't seen the movie yet. In this review, I have seen Spider-Man No Way Home, and I think most fans have seen No Way Home at this point. But if you haven't, that's kind of your spoiler warning. It probably won't be too bad, so if you want to stick around, if you don't mind mild spoilers, but there might be some mild spoilers in this review. But yeah, I'm excited to open this figure up. It is a figure that I, like I said, have been looking for a while, and it's going for quite a bit on eBay, because, you know, people on eBay, we all know, like to raise the prices of stuff to try to make their money. But yeah, let's check out the box before we open it up. So we got the window with Integrated Suit Spidey right there. Looks pretty awesome. I love this suit design. Even before I saw the movie, I loved this suit design, and I know the suit was just put in the movie to sell toys, but it absolutely worked for me at least. So then you can see there's like a nice gold background, which we will see when we open the figure up. We got Marvel Studios Spider-Man No Way Home logo right there. Integrated suit in multiple different language, as well as Spider-Man. Then we got the Hasbro logo on the side here. We've got this very cool artwork of Integrated Suit Spider-Man right there, with this cool logo right here of Spider-Man's face. Very cool looking Spider-Man logo. Up here we got the Legend Series logo. On the side we got that same artwork of Spider-Man. Up here we got Marvel's Armadillo Build-A-Figure, Stark Tech Suit logo right there, and then we've got a couple of warnings there. More warnings and legal stuff, price tag from the comic book shop, all that. Then back here we got more stuff, more legal stuff, Marvel and Hasbro, all the different figures in the Build-A-Figure wave. I'm not building this Build-A-Figure, I'm just not familiar with this character, but it doesn't look like a bad Build-A-Figure. I mean, it doesn't look great, but yeah, I'm not going to be getting the black and gold suit. I've seen it in person now, not really a fan of the way it looks. J. Jonah Jameson is really cool, the head sculpt's really great, just not a figure I feel like I need in my collection, and I do already have Doctor Strange, like I said. And then Miles Morales, I definitely wouldn't mind picking up. I haven't played that game, but I have watched a playthrough of it, so I might pick that one up as well. And these two characters I'm not familiar with whatsoever, so I'm not going to be picking up Shriek or Moreland either. But we have Build-A-Figure, Marvel's Armadillo, all the numbers corresponding to the different parts of the Build-A-Figure. Then here we have Spider-Man in his integrated suit swinging along. Very, very cool artwork going on there. Marvel Legends series Spider-Man, and it says Spider-Man gears up in his integrated suit to bravely confront a new threat. Very vague, but yeah, this is a very cool Spider-Man suit that I'm excited to have as a figure in my Marvel Legends collection. So let me get the trusty unboxing knife and we will get it open. Alright, so I got the trusty unboxing knife, so let's get the tape cut right here. There should be tape right on that tab. That should be fairly easy to cut, like that. We can put the knife away and open up the figure. So pull the tab out and pull the side of the package open as well. And again, get this figure out. I'm really excited for this. Like I said, didn't expect to ever get this figure, but I was really hoping I'd have a chance to pick it up. So I'm glad that my local comic book shop provided me with the chance to get it for a great price. So yeah, if you guys are looking for figures, I don't know about everyone else's comic book shops, but I know my local comic book shop definitely had a great deal, a lot of great selection. So yeah, if you're looking for good prices on figures, maybe check that out. Check out your local comic book shops. We got this cool background going on back here that I talked about earlier. Kind of the Spider-Man logo almost looks like his chest with his spider logo on it. Kind of this gold look that kind of fits the aesthetic of the film. Very cool. Little legal slip. And then we got the figure and his accessories. So we got the web shooter hands that I'm pleased to report do not have paint mishaps or QC issues on them. So that's very, very cool. So we can set those over there. And then get Spidey himself out. Awesome. Alright, so we got the figure out. And yeah, I'm pretty excited for this. So let's set all the packaging aside and we will take a look at Integrated Suit Spider-Man. Alright, so there we have integrated suit Spider-Man, all out of the packaging with his two swappable web shooter hands right there. So let's just start by checking out the figure himself. He looks pretty fantastic. I will say that the gold seems a little bit dull. That was my main problem with the black and gold suit figure itself, is that the gold on it did seem a little bit too dull and not quite bright enough. But in certain lighting, I feel like it looks better on camera, but me seeing it in person, it looks like almost more of a copper or a bronze than a gold. But I see what they're going for, and it definitely works for the aesthetic for me. But that's definitely just a small complaint that I personally have with this figure. But yeah, I think the gauntlets here look really cool. They got kind of this painted on here, which isn't painted perfectly, but I think it looks cool, makes it look more like the nanotech has integrated its way onto his web shooters, which does look cool. The mask looks fantastic. I think they finally got the head shape for MCU Spider-Man correct. So there you go, Hasbro, you finally did it. If they want to reuse this head on future MCU Spider-Man figures, I will be perfectly happy with that. Once again, we've got the gold running through the costume here, even here on the shoulders a little bit. There's more sculpt lines, of course, going for the web lines on the red portions of the suit. And I really love the texture that the red portions of the suit have. It has kind of this texture that makes it feel a little more realistic. I don't really know how else to explain it, but if we pull it a little closer to the camera, you can kind of see the different textures that it has on the red. I don't know if you can really see that on the camera, but maybe you just have to get it in hand, but I have seen several reviews that definitely conveyed better the texture on the suit itself, because it is really good, and it does give it a more premium feel that a lot of Marvel Legends figures don't quite have, but I think they definitely nailed it on this one. The eyes, we already talked about the shape of the head, but the eyes on the mask look great. They're kind of in more of an angry, squinting position, which does look kind of comic-like, but definitely works for an MCU Spider-Man as well. Back here, we've got the gold spider logo on the back of the suit, which is kind of broken up by the butterfly joints in the back, but it works fine for me. More gold down here on the boots that kind of separate it, and the boots are different material, different texture than we have on the actual feet themselves, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, we have more sculpt lines going on the legs. Really, really cool details going on the figure. Like I said, this is one of my favorite MCU Spider-Man suits. My favorite is probably the upgraded suit. And that's probably like my second favorite live-action Spider-Man suit ever. My favorite is still the Sam Raimi suit, but this one is definitely up there on my favorite MCU Spider-Man suits, because I do love the Iron Spider suit, and I do love the upgraded suit, like I said, so having a mix of the two, with the big spider logo on the front right here, with the nanotech being integrated into the suit, really, really cool. So yeah, really loving the look of this figure. So let's check out the web thripping hands. So here we have the web thripping hands. I've heard many criticisms that the fingers are the wrong color. They kind of have it swapped. It's supposed to be red on the fingers and black on the hands, which makes sense since this is just the upgraded suit with nanotech put onto it. So the color of the gloves really wouldn't have changed. But if you look at this, they do look really cool. I honestly like this better than having the red on the fingers and black on the palms. But it isn't accurate, which yeah, that is true. It's not accurate to the film, but I still do like the way it looks, and you will see there's no paint mishaps to be seen, like there was on my first copy of the figure that I traded in for this one. So yeah, really, really cool looking web hands. They do have that same texture that I was talking about that is on the figure itself. So yeah, let's try swapping these in. These are definitely awesome. How would you have a Spider-Man figure without thrip hands? I don't know. So I'm glad that they include them with all of the figures. So to swap them onto Spider-Man, we're going to need to pull the fist hands off, which does take a little bit of effort, as you probably just heard me grunt there. But these are cool. I also wanted to point out that I do like that he comes with fist hands, because the other Spider-Man, the upgraded suit version, does not come with fist hands. I don't know if that's how the original release was, but I know that the Walmart exclusive release didn't come with fist hands. It came with these kind of loose grip hands, so he could hold on to the weird web thing that he came with. But luckily, this one comes with fist hands, so you can easily have him in a kind of neutral standing position with two fists. So that's cool, but let's put the thwipper hands on there, and they look very nice. So yeah, I would be cautious. It did take a little effort to pull these off, and a couple times I have broken figures. Never a Marvel Legends before, which is nice. I really like the durability that Hasbro figures have, but I have had a couple figures pegs snap on their swappable hands when I pulled them off. So yeah, definitely be aware of that. I hope that doesn't happen with this guy. But yeah, I really love the way these thwip hands look. Very, very cool. Really liking it. Even though they aren't accurate, I think they definitely look really cool. Oh, that elbow joint's kind of stiff. They definitely look really cool on the figure. Kevin. Very, very cool. I really like these. So yeah, kind of said everything there is to say with those. They swap on pretty nicely. It does take a little effort, maybe just because the figure's fresh out of the package at the moment. But yeah, I'll swap the fist hands back on so we can have him in a neutral pose. There we have the fist hands on there, and I wanted to try something. I wanted to swap on the Tom Holland Peter Parker head sculpt that comes with the upgraded suit Spider-Man. So yeah, I wanted to swap that on because I have some posing and display ideas that had to do with this head sculpt right here. So let me see if we can swap that on. Alright, so there it is. I think that looks awesome. I think it looks really good. I think it still fits well with the proportions. Maybe even better than it did on the upgraded suit Spider-Man. I really love the way that looks, so I'm probably going to be posing him with that because I have been keeping the masked head sculpt on the upgraded suit Spider-Man, and I might even try to put this masked head sculpt on the upgraded suit Spider-Man since we will do a comparison later, but the one on the upgraded suit Spider-Man figure is from an older wave of figures from the Molten Man BAF wave back when Far From Home came out, so it is ever so slightly outdated, so this one is definitely a far superior MCU Spider-Man masked sculpt, but this Tom Holland head sculpt for Peter Parker just looks awesome. So anyway, yeah, I'm going to put this head sculpt back on him and we will check out his articulation. So to go over articulation on upgraded suit Spider-Man, there is a ball joint at the head that will give you all sorts of tilt and look up and look down. Really fantastic. And down here almost looks like an articulation point, but I think my theory of what it was they were originally going to have a swappable neck feature, like you might see on like a Hot Toys figure, where you can have I know this figure didn't come with a swappable Peter Parker head sculpt, but I think they may have planned for it too, and they were going to make it able to swap the neck out as well, because I noticed when I was pulling this head off, this neck almost wanted to come off with it, but it didn't. But yeah, that's not an articulation point, but we do have butterfly joints at the shoulders as well. Very necessary, but yeah. Notice how the other arm is moving when I move that? That's kind of weird. But yeah, you can move forward and back, and then you gotta lift up at the shoulder as well, an upper bicep swivel. Then you have a double hinge pinless elbow, which is fantastic. We'll see that on the knees as well. But I love when they can give a figure great articulation while also preserving the look of it. That is fantastic. So yeah, and then down here we get a ab crunch, which will give you back and forward, and then you'll have a swivel at the hips, and a lift up and a lift back just a little bit before it starts going out. And then you can lift out like that. Upper thigh swivel, double hinge pinless knee, once again, awesome. And then a rocker and pivot at the ankles. So really great articulation, as you will definitely need for a Spider-Man figure. So let me get him in a cool pose, and I will give you guys a closer look at integrated suit Spider-Man. Alright, so before I give you my finishing thoughts on this figure, let's do some quick side-by-side comparisons with some other Marvel Legends figures I have from Spider-Man No Way Home. So starting off with the upgraded suit, as was previously mentioned several times in this video. But yeah, let's put the upgraded suit Spider-Man next to integrated suit. Okay, so there he is next to upgraded suit, and you can kind of see now I have more problems with this figure now that it's next to this one, because this one's so much of an improvement over this one. I'm pretty sure this is all new sculpt as well, which is just awesome. But you can see the masks are very different. This one's a little more cartoony looking. If you can look at that a little closer, it looks a lot more cartoony than even this one does, which I made a comment that looked kind of comic book like, but this one even more so with the big eyes, and the head doesn't look like quite the right shape for MCU Spider-Man. But if we're looking at them together, this one obviously looks a lot better, but if we're just looking at two Spider-Man suits, how will they look together on the display? I mean, I think they'll look okay together on the display, but I think if I'm putting these two guys next to each other on my display, I'm just going to notice all the problems that this figure has when it's next to this amazing figure. So that's what I think, but let's put one more No Way Home figure next to these guys, which is No Way Home Doctor Strange. Okay, so there's No Way Home Doctor Strange, which is one of my favorite Marvel Legends figures of all time. And this guy's probably creeping up there as well. But yeah, Doctor Strange looks great. This is an awesome figure, by the way. If you guys haven't seen my review for that, I have it linked up in the card. But also, if you guys don't have this figure yet, it's an awesome Doctor Strange. Pretty much the definitive MCU Doctor Strange you will want. But yeah, once again, looks great. Tom Holland is a much shorter version of Peter Parker. So if you have him next to Doctor Strange, who Benedict Cumberbatch is a bit taller, definitely looks pretty good. I think this one's a little more to scale than this one was. So you can definitely see that they definitely had the attention to detail to make this Spider-Man figure a little little bit shorter than characters like Doctor Strange. So I think these figures all look great together, apart from all the issues with this one being much more apparent when it's next to this guy. But overall, great figures. Awesome to have all three of these guys. And I think I'm pretty much done getting the figures from No Way Home, unless they come out with a select few characters I'm hoping Marvel Legends will make. So Hasbro, you guys know which characters I'm talking about. Not going to spoil anything, but I'm pretty sure most people have seen the movie by now. We need all of those characters. Every character that's going through your mind right now, like, is that the figure he's talking about? Yes. I want, like, pretty much every awesome character that was in this film in Marvel Legends form to go on my shelf. So yeah, I'm going to move these two guys out of the way, and I will give you my finishing thoughts on Integrated Suit Spider-Man. Okay, so for my finishing thoughts on Integrated Suit Spider-Man, what an awesome Spider-Man figure. Maybe the best MCU Spider-Man figure they've made. I haven't gotten the black and gold suit, but I can pretty much safely say this one's better than the upgraded suit since I do have that one. I don't have any of the other MCU Spider-Man figures, but from what I've seen, this one is far superior to all of those. This is a fantastic figure, articulation-wise as well as detail. This is just a beautiful, beautiful Spider-Man figure that I highly recommend picking up for your MCU collection. I'm super happy to have it. I'm glad I pulled the trigger on it when I found it, because this is definitely a cool figure to have in my collection that I didn't really know that I needed in my collection, but I definitely felt like I really wanted. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you did, please leave a like. I would really appreciate that. If you enjoy Marvel Legends reviews, my channel is mainly focused on Star Wars The Black Series and Marvel Legends content, so if that's something you're into, please consider clicking subscribe in order to join the Knights of Mischief. So yeah, as always, I hope you guys found this review helpful. Hope you found it enjoyable, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.